I have a haul and an upcycle for you, and this one came in the mail. Yes, this haul came in the mail. There's a key. There's a key. I have a package. Woohoo! Let's go find out what it is. Locker number 42. I think it goes here. Yeah. I have a package. Oh, how exciting. Oh, it's from Nancy. Nancy, who sent me a package before. Thank you, Nancy. Can't wait to open it on camera and see what you sent me. It's always so much fun to open up my P.O. box and find a surprise. We're going to go through this haul together and we're going to upcycle. At least I plan to upcycle one or more things that might be in this box. Give you some ideas and tips on how you can upcycle too. Are you ready to get started? I know I am. But before we do, thank you, Nancy, for sending me a surprise haul of what I assume to be is jewelry, maybe? Oh, okay. Looks like I've got some extra protection in here to make sure it arrives safely. Oh, it looks like I can even lift out the whole bundle. It might take two hands for this. I need a drum roll. Woohoo! Look at all the little packages. Oh my gosh. Oh, and a little note. I'm going to take a peek at the note privately, and then we'll open this together. How's that? Let's do it. Nancy sent me a beautiful card, a hand-painted card, and the artist is also named Vicky. Beautiful card and beautiful note inside. So thank you very much, Nancy. It's time to get started on these little packages. I know that there's a theme throughout most of this because she dropped me an email and gave me a hint for the 4th of July that's coming up soon. So I better get this video out there soon, right? And of course she said there's other things in here too. I love working with these little circles, these connected circles. I've upcycled others before, and I really like how this is open cut, so that's really neat. Love it. And it is really cute just like it is, but you know me, I'll probably have to do something with it. Thank you. These are ceramic beads. It's a blue floral design and some charms. I can really envision these beads being used. And, well, I'm not going to tell you because then it wouldn't be a surprise, right? But very cute. I guess I have it upside down. Here's the cross and the flower and little charms. I'll make use of all of this. Oh, this is pretty too. And it's a very soft gold tone, you know, very pastel. And we've got all kinds of dangles that we can work with. I don't know which direction it goes here. It might just be a little bit twisted. Flip this one over here. There we go. Lots of little components that we can work with here. Do you see the potential like I do? I just love it when I've got some chain, I've got some metal components, lots to work with to upcycle. Of course, in Nancy's note, it says do whatever you'd like, and I do appreciate that because if I don't upcycle it, well, I might keep it or I might resell it someday. I appreciate the freedom to do that because when it's all said and done, you're supporting the channel, and I appreciate that so much. Look at this necklace. Oh my gosh, here I am talking away, and that is beautiful. I have never seen a necklace like this before. First of all, these are probably check glass beads. I don't know if you can see the AB finish on these, but they look and feel like check glass, and there's a whole bunch of them. And this beautiful tassel, that is absolutely gorgeous. That might be a keeper. I love it. And you know I love tassels. Gosh, Nancy, you really have some good thrift stores if you're finding this type of quality when thrifting, because these are all beautiful. Beautiful little pendant. Got a mix of metal and plastic. But look at these little flowers. That's one component. It looks like three, but it's actually one component. That is really pretty. Love the colors, love the design and texture. There's something in here somewhere. Dainty little necklace. We have some tiny little rondelles, really pretty in a pastel, kind of a peachy pink, a little bit of chain. You know, I haven't been looking for brands very much on these. If I see anything, I'll let you know. And this lovely pendant. And it's got 2 components to it. So very pretty. And I love that they're glass beads. Really nice. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I can't even tell you how much I enjoy this and how much I appreciate it. Yes, I have beads. I do. But there's nothing like a present. I mean, wouldn't you like to receive this? I'm sure you would. Ooh. Wow. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful crystals. Every single one. A crystal bead with AB finish. Do you see that reflection? Just gorgeous. Lovely. It would make a beautiful bracelet. It would make beautiful earrings. Lots of possibilities with that. I'm trying to keep everything here so that you can see it, but I might have to move it back just a little bit and then start on the other side. I'm going to get permission from Nancy first, so if you're about to see what I'm going to show you, it's because I did get her permission. Let's move this. Nancy sent me 2 photos of herself. This one, she's wearing the starfish necklace that I made in one of my videos. Oh, and it's so nice to see what you look like, Nancy. That is so great. I love the photos. You look beautiful. And this is the necklace that I made in the video of the first haul that Nancy sent me. So how fun to see that. And then she also said she wore it with the extension. So this is without the extension and this is with the extension. So Nancy, you are now famous on our channel, Avante Jewelry. And thank you so much for your 2 hauls now and your patronage of purchasing my jewelry. Thank you so much. What a nice surprise. And remember, at the end of the video, after I show you a recap of everything that we made in this video, I'm going to ask you to vote by leaving a comment with your favorite piece or pieces of jewelry that we upcycled. So be sure to leave that comment after you've seen the whole video, because, you know, there's more. And thank you again for using regular tape, because that's easier for me to open on camera. I don't have to get my scissors out, so thank you. I see the color gold and maybe white. Yep, gold and white. What I really love about costume jewelry, you know, fashion jewelry, costume jewelry, is how unique each piece is. I mean, the designs are endless, absolutely endless. Now this one has 2 different patterns across from each other. You can see that opposite pattern and then the reverse opposite pattern, opposite pattern. And these are really cool little connectors. You know, we could make these. We could take some wire and put a loop on each end and make these type of connectors. So, you know, what I see here is not only a pretty necklace, I also see inspiration, ideas on how to make some other jewelry. I see white. We've got some vintage white beads with a pretty box clasp. Just press that down if you remember those. Very popular when I was a kid and always makes me think of vintage. What do we have here? Oh, this is Monet. This is a vintage Monet necklace. The beads are plastic. They are strung on a really, I was going to say wire. This is unique. They are actually strung on a fine, very fine chain. I don't know if you can see the little links in the chain, but that is different. I think we're starting to get into the red, white, and blue territory. What do you think? Let's move this back a little bit. I like that you sent me a variety, because I thought it was all going to be red, white, and blues. If you keep watching all the way to the end, I'm sure I'll be upcycling something from here, or some things, if you know what I mean. Oh, I like that. Those are unique beads. I mean, check these out. They might just be, I'm going to call them acrylic instead of plastic, because they just have that look. They have little silver glitter inside of them. And then we have the blue beads and a little ship's wheel, it looks like to me. I just love these beads. They're beautiful. You can't get these type of unique beads with your glass and your stone. It's only in the vintage pieces, the costume jewelry, the fashion jewelry, that you can find these truly unique beads. Gotta love that. 1, 2, 3 bags full. Got some earrings here. Well, those are gorgeous just like they are, aren't they? They're blue, kind of a faceted cube almost. It has a rondelle and a little rectangular bead. Those are beautiful. I was going to say they go with this, but they don't. But I could wear them with that. We have two bracelets. We have blue rondelles and little pearls and little gold faceted beads. Does it stretch? Yes. And then we have a red and gold bracelet. So here we have the red, white, and blue. We have this slinky chain. It's not really slinky, if you know what I mean, but I don't know what this is called. I forget what it's called anyway. If you know what that chain is, let me know. And look, this is a handmade pendant. This is a bead weaving pendant. Here's the right side of it. I haven't really tried anything this complex, but that is gorgeous. Beautiful pendant. What have we here? We've got a very long necklace, maybe even multi-strand. Here's the clasp. Trying to see what it says. I don't know the symbol on it. I don't know the maker's mark. Anyone know who made this jewelry? Maybe I have it upside down. Let me know. Leave a comment. But we've got lots of chain to work with. We have some cube. I kind of call these a faceted cube. Crystals with some rhinestone rondelles in the middle. Got lots of those. 2 strands. And this would be a great necklace to upcycle. There's a lot of things that could be done with this chain. And it has that finish that I believe is called gunmetal. Gunmetal finish is kind of an antiqued black finish. So lots of possibilities with that. Make sure I'm not leaving anything in there. Oh, here's the red, white, and blue again. We've got some really neat earrings. Look at these with all the stars. Metal stars. It has these links on the back where you attach a little charm to each individual link. And we've got all kinds of stars to work with. Oh, I just know somebody watching this would just love to have these earrings just like they are. Like, don't take them apart, Vicki. I can hear it now because I know you talk to me. A lot of you tell me you talk to me, and sometimes I hear you and sometimes I don't. You never know, but I can hear somebody right now saying, I want those earrings. Don't take them apart. Oh gosh. Here we have another pair of beautiful earrings, very unique. I'm going to move these over just a little bit. I have never seen this pattern. I'm trying to lay them out so you can see it too. This is what it's supposed to look like. I'm not 100% sure. I've got this one. Now, this would be very challenging to duplicate because you have to have these little rhinestone components. They're little V-shaped components with little rhinestones in each one. So to duplicate this, you'd have to have those. And I've never, ever seen these in jewelry findings. And I've seen a lot of jewelry findings. I have a lot of findings. But yeah, we've got some crystals and the little rhinestones. And these are clip earrings. Does it say anything on the back? I don't see anything. But there you go. Some very unique crystal earrings. We've got fun and we've got beautiful. How's that? Oh, I forgot this one over here. We have some little charms. Little flag charms and a heart. Well, if I was taking these apart, each of these stars could become a charm. But I don't know. I mean, they're kind of cool like they are. Decisions. Let's set those aside and go on to another one. This is like the best birthday ever, even though it's not my birthday. It's not. Ooh. Nancy, how do you do this? How do you pull this off that you can go to your thrift stores, your secondhand shops, maybe you're at consignment shops, and find jewelry this beautiful? I mean, these are all stones and glass. At least I think the orange ones are stones. They might just be glass. It's always hard to tell sometimes. You know, I Google lens some things, and someone did suggest I get an app that can identify stone, but they're all cool to the touch. But look at this 4-strand necklace, and it doesn't even have a stamp or hallmark. So look at these. These are gorgeous. Absolutely. Oh, there you go. Now that's a bracelet. That's a statement bracelet, right? Just gorgeous. I'm going to put it right here in the middle. Unbelievable that you're finding jewelry this nice. Because jewelry around here, first of all, it's slim pickings, and then the prices keep going up and up. So, okay, this says, Vicki, salt cellars for you. I know you like to put your little beads in them when you work with your beads. You know me, Nancy. I love my little salt cellars. In fact, I'm going to show you what I use here. Excuse the noise while I bring it over. I have this glass tray. I have 2 of these sitting right across from my work area here. And these are little salt cellars. I had them listed on eBay, and then I decided to take them down and use them. I really like this one too that I use for my head pins. Isn't that just cute? And the glass trays and everything. So I have two of these. One set up just for gold and one set up for silver. But let's see what Nancy sent me. She found me some more salt cellars. Never have too many. Can never have too much jewelry either. Which reminds me of something. I find it here in my other phone. So last night when I was on Facebook, I read this to Mark. It says, there will be people who say you buy too many plants. Those are not your people. But that's not how I read it to him. I said, there will be people who say you have too much jewelry. Those are not my people. That's what I told him just last night. So if you think I have too much jewelry, well, I'm sorry to say you just may not be my people. But if you say that you can never have too much jewelry, well, I hope you're subscribed. How's that? Because if I didn't have jewelry, I couldn't wear it, I couldn't upcycle it, I couldn't sell it, you know, all that fun stuff. Now, I could probably hear my mom saying that, you have too much jewelry. Well, let me rethink that. Maybe not, because she had a big jewelry box too. She had a large jewelry box before I did. Mark bought me my tall jewelry box the first year we were married. And it's full. Looky here. Only it's a little bit taller than this one. Cool. This one's empty. I don't know what was in here, but I probably need to refill it. But that is so pretty. Look at the little bottom. Do you know about salt cellars? I mean, back in the day before we had salt and pepper shakers, even though they've been around forever, they would fill this with coarse salt, at least coarser than table salt, and put this at every place setting so that everyone sitting at the table could salt their own food to their preference. So there you go. Beautiful. I don't think mine has a different bottom, so I most certainly make use of these. Thank you, Nancy, for the salt cellars. I do believe I'm through everything right now. I just need to go through and pick out. She sent me a wide variety of jewelry to work with. And some of it, like this, is probably just too beautiful to take apart. I'm going to try this on as soon as I'm done here. We'll see, though. We'll see what we can do with all of this. Thank you so much, Nancy, for sending me this beautiful haul of jewelry that you thrifted for me. As you said in your note, you had a lot of fun shopping for me, and I really appreciate it. Take a close look at everything. Now that you've seen the haul that I received from Nancy, I'm going to take some time. I'm going to step away for a day or so, meaning I'm going to come back and look at it a few times over the next day or so and decide which pieces I want to upcycle and hopefully have some ideas for you because, yeah, sometimes I have to think on it a little bit. It's quite different when I pick things out and I pick it out with some intention, you know, in mind versus being surprised and I have to think about it sometimes. So I will see you in this same video. I'll see you shortly here and we'll get started. So let's start with this long 2-strand chain and bead necklace. It has this dark metal finish, almost a gunmetal finish. And the first thing we're going to do, by the way, I never figured out the brand. First thing we're going to do is take the chain off at the clasp. I want to free up the chain so that we can use it to make 1 or 2 other pieces of jewelry. We'll see here. So I'm just going to set aside the lobster clasp and jump ring, just opening it up at the cut or the split and the jump ring. So now we have 2 long lengths of chain. One of them was shorter than the other, but let's just fold these in half and see. Obviously, this is the longer one. That's what we want to start with. So this is what I'm thinking. What if we want to make a lariat with this? I guess I have to decide if I want them to match or not. I mean, you don't have to have them the same across from each other. I could leave it like that. That would be the easy fix, right? If we decide to leave these as is and they're different, let's at the very least take off this component. Just going to open that sideways and slide that out. We might be able to work it in another way. So now we're accepting these as being the same. Those are different. These are different. Obviously, this isn't going to work up here. So let's go ahead and take this one off. And what I'm showing you here is something that you can do if you have some chain with some beads in it. Even if you don't have any beads in it, this idea that I'm going to show you, you can most certainly make use of it. Because as you know, my videos are meant for inspiration, to inspire you to get into your own bead stash and see what you can come up with. Now, I do need to reconnect that, but let's go ahead and take this one off. Now, the point of a lariat is that you typically, not always, but typically you don't have a clasp at the back of the neck. you bring it around to the front and drape it. I'll show you here when we get to that point, in case you don't know about that. So I need to basically work in some more chain. So let's do it. Let's just take 2 flat nose pliers and open up one of these links. Oh, I could work this chain back in too. I might as well. I don't think I'll need it for anything else. We'll see. You know, I do need some chain. I guess what I need to do is stop here and see how long this is. And you can see, I see now that these are not the same length. So what do we have here? Let's make this lariat about 24 inches long. That means I need about 12 inches here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and connect this and then measure. This is an experiment, so it's not like I have everything thought out. I'm designing it as I go. But let's add this, close this up, get a good grip, make sure it's closed. And now let's see how this lines up. Maybe I've made a mistake, but if I line this up and that up, what am I missing down here? I've got a little bit longer on one side than the other. Sometimes I like to use a head pin to get a hold of those links and straighten them out. This is curb change, so it's always a little trickier to get it to lay out, but not impossible. And it does twist a little bit too. There we go. These are lined up. Let's pull this straight. You can see that this one's slightly longer. Now we need one of these slightly longer than the other one. So let's take some chain from here. This will all come together, I hope. Eventually, it will all come together. Add a little more chain and just go ahead and make this side the longer side. Because I needed about 3 inches more in length on one side versus the other, and that's pretty close. So just going to open up at the cut in the chain link and connect it. A little awkward to get a hold of it, get a good grip, but once you got it, go for it, work it. Wiggle it back and forth if you need to get it to close up. I think I could do a little better job. And I also think I need to change glasses because I forgot to put my computer glasses on, you know, the ones I like to use for making jewelry because they help cut the glare. So this should help. Oh my gosh, it helps a lot. So what do we have now? We have one side longer than the other side. That's exactly what I'm going for. Is it too long? Well, I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to reverse these. Longer side. When it comes to a lariat, what we typically do is have some kind of ring on one side and then the chain slides through the ring. I pulled out what is half of a toggle clasp. I have round components of a toggle, but not the toggle bar. And I'm thinking about attaching one of these here, and I can tell that the chain's going to go through there all right, just a matter of size. I think I like this one that's textured, and the chain will still go through here. Okay, so I'm going to attach this little half of a toggle clasp to this side. And I have a jump ring here that I took off, so I know I'm mixing metals now. I have a shiny silver, but we do have, you know, some rhinestone rondelles that are shiny. So we're going to start mixing some metals here. Just going to attach this to the last link. The theory is this would go down through here, like so. What's going to stop this from getting crooked on us and losing the original pattern? What can we do to prevent that from happening? Is there anything we can do? What I'm thinking we can do is go ahead and, I'm just going to fold this down for now. Make sure that these are still falling side by side and kind of take a look at where the chain is starting to go through the ring. Let's zoom in on this. Again, keeping these straight as I can, matched up. I'm zoomed in right now. I need to find where the chain is just starting to go through the ring. We need to put something there to keep that from going through all the way. We want to be able to pull it back up to put it on if we need to, but we don't want it falling through, making this uneven in the pattern. So we need something there. It could be something as simple as a jump ring, but do you remember this part of the original clasp? You know, this was part of it. I'm wondering if I can attach this here right before. You know, we could have also come through here for that matter. I'm looking at this now. I'm like, why didn't I just use this and come through here? Could have done that. Finish matches. Okay, I'm going to change my mind. I'm just going to go ahead and change this to this component. It's the same idea as what I'm using, just the finish matches, and why not use it? We're trying to upcycle. So even though I pulled this out, I'm not going to use it. I do have a jump ring on here already, but I think I'm going to use the bigger jump ring. This is slightly larger, and put this on. It's just a coincidence that this is going to work out this way. I had no idea when I started this that I would be using this component. Now that I am, we'll put this through here. Again, keeping these aligned, you know, here and here. We're getting closer to having our lariat. I just have to decide what we're going to add here to keep this from sliding through too far. We need something here. As I mentioned, we could put a jump ring here or a bead. I'm going to see what I can do with one of these crystals here. Just going to take this apart. I want to use one of these crystals as the stopper. So I basically need an eye pin. An eye pin has a loop at both ends, but if you don't have an eye pin, just take a head pin, cut the head off the pin, make a small loop. This is flush. Got a loop. Just roll it back just a little bit, make it more of an eye pin, and I'll close that up better. And let's just go ahead and add the crystal here. I'm not going to add any other embellishments. I'm just going to go ahead and make a loop on the other end. A couple ways to do it. It's kind of like making an earring. I'm going to trim this down to about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to make a loop. And you can use that loop making tool that I have, or you can use your round nose pliers, whichever you want. So I've got 2 loops on here. And let's determine kind of where I want to place that. Trying to keep this pattern even again. And I think I want to place it right here. I'm going to put this eye pin through here. This is where I want to put that, attach that. So I need to disconnect the chain below that. So once you get a hold of it, that loop, don't let it go. Don't let it go. And get your tools and open that up and take it off the chain. Now what we're going to do is open up sideways the little loop on the crystal. This is going to be our stopper. And so this stopper needs to be at the end of this chain. You'll see here, I know you don't know where I'm going with this, but I will show you. Okay, this is our stopper bead. So let's pick up on the chain again. It's going to pick up on the other side of our stopper bead. Just think of it as a stopper bead. It could be pretty much anything as long as it won't go through our loop that we added for the lariat. We want this chain to go through here, but we want it to stop. We don't want it going through all the way. You can go through from the front side, you can go behind on the back side. Well, I think this is pretty much two-sided, but think of it as our stopper bead. Now, do I have it right? Let's straighten this out, and no, I do not. Do you see here? Do you see it's not even? So what have I done? I think I have my stopper bead too long. I need to shorten this up a little bit. Maybe by 3 links, I think. That's okay, we can do that. And I'm going to use my chain nose pliers because they're narrow. And we're going to take this off of here. I'm not going to close it right now. And I'm going to eliminate 3 links on here because I think that's about what I need to take off. It's a little bit of an experiment because we're working with an existing pattern when it comes to how these components are laying. I want to remove 3 links. Put this back through here again. I hope I have it this time. No guarantee, but I hope. Let's put this through here. I think we've got it. I think that's going to work. That's going to be our stopper bead, and I've got it now. Great. Love that. So now, we've got our basic lariat design. No clasp at the top. But what are we going to do down here? What do we want to add here? Well, first of all, I think it's a little bit long. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, you know, I don't think it needs to be that long. So I think I'm going to back off maybe to, originally I said we were going to do 3 inches, but I'm thinking now maybe just 1 inch. So I'm going to take it apart here. You can make it as long as you like. It's completely up to you. But I want to go a little bit shorter now that I'm looking at it. Just a little too long. I mean, if you wanted to put a lot of beads and charms on this part of it, then maybe that would be fine. But for me, this is what I've got in mind. You know, I have the original lobster clasp. So let's see if we can make use of that. And we have some other components here that we could work with. Let's just take these apart. free this up from the chain and see what kind of components we have here. We have this, and we have this, and we have these components left. So what we can do with this lariat idea, we can turn these little dangles, or you can make little dangles. We could use 1, we could use 2, we could use 3, and we could turn these into the charm that hangs from the lariat. Again, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, we can attach it with a lobster clasp, probably a smaller lobster clasp than what I have here. I'm not sure if I have a smaller one in this finish. I'm going to take a quick look here. Probably not. Most of mine are pretty shiny. Let's say that we take the jump ring from the original necklace and we just gather some of these little components, 3 of them in fact, and add the lobster clasp, close that up, and we can go and attach this little charm dangle that we've made, attach this to the bottom or last link of the lariat. And what keeps this from pulling through all the way is the stopper bead. I'm still thinking this is far more chain than what is really necessary, but if you were adding charms along the side, you know, you could have multiple charms hanging there, and you could attach every single one with a simple lobster clasp, preferably a smaller lobster clasp, but since I'm gathering 3, this works pretty good. So this is my quick and simple way to make a lariat with interchangeable charms. Again, if you're using single ones, I think a smaller lobster clasp would work great. We could even shorten this up a little bit. We could pull this up and make it closer here so that there's not such a dangle, but a lot of lariats do hang down about this far. The takeaway from this is how to upcycle some ready-made chain, even so much as using the components on that chain, adding a loop, whether it's the clasp, if it happens to work out, or half of a toggle, the round part or the shaped part of the toggle clasp, making a stopper bead of some kind, and then attaching 1 or more charms with a little lobster clasp. I mean, if you think about it, you know, I could turn anything into a charm. I could add a lobster clasp to this, or one of the larger ones if I wanted to, or combine it. I'm not going to take this necklace apart today, but it's endless what you can do to add a charm. So that's my first upcycle from this haul. So what do you think about the lariat necklace? Quite easy to take an existing necklace and just rearrange it a little bit and make interchangeable charms just by using a very small lobster clasp. How easy is that? I'm sure you must have some chain and some beads in your bead stash so that you could do the same thing. Let's go ahead and use the other chain from this same necklace because it was a 2-strand necklace. Let's take the shorter strand and make something that is quite practical. Yes, very, very practical. In fact, I could use this, and probably most people after age, say, 45 might be able to use this practical piece of jewelry that we're going to make from that second strand. I'll show you. So what are we going to do with the rest of the chain? Well, it's long enough that it doesn't need a clasp. So let's just roll with that. Let's just go ahead and attach this at the top. Well, first of all, if I want all of these to match up, even though they're different on each side, do I have the same length up here? I do. You know, this one we haven't changed yet. We haven't altered it, so they do match at the top. So that makes it nice and easy. So, you know, we could use a jump ring to connect these, or we can just connect the links, you know, 2 of the links here, because we know that the pattern matches up. And we know that it's long enough to just slip it over the head, so pretty easy, right? So we want most of the chain, most of the length of chain to go around the neck. We want these lined up. So what can we do here? Well, I have this component, and I'm not really sure what the original intent was for this, but I thought maybe, let's put this jump ring through this hole right here. Let's find this center loop here, if I can. Just, you know, this twist a little bit. So I want to straighten it out, bring it together, see if I can find a center. I think I have it right here. Let's see what happens. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's see if I can put this through here and close that up. And I do have these components in our eBay store, Avante Avenue, So if you want to try this idea, I've got some of these available. You have to have your own jump ring, but this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we just made a different style of eyeglass holder. What do you think of that? The glasses hang this direction. I see nothing that's going to make them fall out. When you want to wear them, you just slip them out, and you have this little doodad, this little loop thing here. Again, I don't really know what they were originally made for. I know I've had several people buy them. You know, I picked them up at a bead and gem show years ago. I guess it could be used to dangle charms from it. As I was looking at it the other day, I thought, you know what? That would make a really handy eyeglass holder. So there you go. Quick, easy, simple. So if you want to upcycle some long chain and or beads, I do have them in a lot of 6. So hopefully you want to make a few of these or make some for gifts. And it's $6 for 6 of them, plus ship of $4.95. But yes, we have a lariat necklace and an eyeglass holder. 2 quick and easy upcycles from one necklace. I have at least one more upcycle for you, so keep watching. Have you ever had a necklace that you really like the pattern? You like the pattern just like it is, but it's too short. I don't know about you, but as I get older, I'm not even going to show you, but as I get older, maybe you feel this way too. You know, I don't want to wear a short necklace. 16 inches? No way. 18 is even a little bit tight. But the necklace that I'm going to work with, I actually really like the color. I actually like the pattern. So I thought I would show you a couple ways of how to extend a necklace that you really like, just like it is, as well as how to extend it. You know, we're going to extend it in a temporary way, and we're going to extend it in a permanent way. So let's start with the temporary way first before we make it permanent. Although I could probably change it back if I wanted to. Well, you know, I'll just show you here. I guess I shouldn't call it an upcycle so much. I mean, it's kind of, but it's really about showing you different ways to take a necklace where you love the pattern, you love it just like it is, but it's just too short. Yes, we have an extension chain, but it's pretty short even with the extension chain. It says Cookie Lee. Cookie Lee. Okay, does it have any value like it is? I don't know. Maybe I better look it up before I change it. I just checked eBay, and it's pretty much flooded with Cookie Lee, so I'm not going to worry about trying to sell this. So what can we do to make this a little bit longer? First of all, let's take a look at the length. To the actual jump ring on the clasp, this is only, oh my gosh, it's less than 15 inches. The extension chain is 3, so it's a long extension chain. So if I took that out all the way, we are looking at, well, 17 inches. So still very short, at least for me. Not that I'm keeping this one, but still, that's very short, especially, you know, for me and probably a lot of ladies. So back to what can we do if we like the pattern, but we just find it too short? Well, if you're not fond of extension chains like this going around the neck, take it off, right? Let's do the simplest thing first. Obviously, you can add a longer extension chain around the neck. That's easy enough to do. But if you're not very fond of having all this chain, especially if you have short hair, what else can we do? So extension chain gone, but it's too short. I do love these components. It's just one long piece, and that's really pretty. And the pendant's pretty too. And my first thought is let's make a beaded extension, not extension chain. The first thing you can do to make an extension is find the beads that are already in it, like these little round beads, and match up the same size bead. This should be 3 millimeter. If you're enjoying this video, I appreciate a thumbs up, and be sure to comment, and if you haven't done so, please subscribe, because YouTube tells me that about 50% of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed. How can that be? Do you know it really helps a YouTuber out when you subscribe and ring that bell? There's a little bell icon for notifications. So for the 50% of you who enjoy my videos, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. And keep watching. There's more. And you just need a small length of beading wire and add the round beads.
The sky is blue, the sun is high, sitting here on my own. I think of you, you're on my mind. To me, that's alright. Green grass on my neighbor's lawn. Maybe I should take a stroll. And to me, that's alright. To me, that's alright.
We said this is at about 14. We've got 4, that's 18 inches. So might want to go a little bit longer than that. Typically around the back of the neck, you don't want to go more than 6 inches. So let's just go ahead, because after 6 inches, whatever you've put for the back of the neck starts to show along the sides, the front sides. So about 6 inches. I know that because I tried on a necklace and measured around my neck, and that's what I came up with. Your measurement might be different. So try to check that before you start making an extension and determine where you want to stop so that you don't actually really see the extension from the sides, the front sides. I mean, you can go a little bit around the side, maybe an inch, but you don't want to go much further. So what do we have here? Now keep in mind we need to add a clasp. I'm just under 6 inches, and we would need to add another lobster clasp and another ring. I just noticed when I took the extension chain off, I took the jump ring off. And now I can't even see it. Oh, here it is. It's a tiny jump ring there. It's not very big. I'm going to go ahead and back down just a little bit. Since we have to add the clasp, I'm going to go to 5.5. Give or take, it's all an experiment to see what you like. So what do we need to do here? We need to add a lobster clasp and a jump ring. You want to use a lobster clasp that you're comfortable opening and closing. You don't want to go too small. And you'll need a jump ring. After that, a couple of crimp beads. Preferably to the same size. I will never mix sizes again. I promise I will never mix sizes again. Oh my gosh, I'm not even sure if those are the same. So if we want to add a jump ring, and you could use a closed jump ring. This one has a little cut in it, but you could use a closed. Oh, put the crimp bead on first. Go through the jump ring, or you can add a different type of clasp. It doesn't have to be a jump ring at all. You could use one of these components if you want. You're not locked into anything specifically, just whatever you want to use. The idea is to put a clasp on the end of your extender. I'm trying to make sure this isn't crossed over, and I am not going to crimp this with the crimping tool. I'm just going to flatten it. That's all I'm going to do. Just flatten it. You can put 1 to 2 beads over the tail. Trim that off, push your beads down, pick up your other crimp bead. We need a clasp this time, so I've got a lobster clasp. Always make sure it works. Go back through the crimp bead and through 1 or 2 other beads. As I said before, going through the beads doesn't make the necklace any stronger. It just helps hide the tail so it's not sticking out. Okay, make sure you have some flexibility in it. I've got the crimp bead here. I'm just going to flatten it, check it. Should have checked it better on that end. Nothing's coming out. Trim it off. And we have just made us a really nice extender. Oh, this needs a jump ring back on here. I'm just going to add a new jump ring here. See how they used a clamshell here? That's what they used. We've used those many times, haven't we? Okay, so now we have a necklace that we like, but it's too short, so let's add our extension. The jump ring goes in that lobster clasp, and this lobster clasp that we added to the extension goes here. So now we've extended the necklace, and we didn't have to change anything because the idea for this was that we already liked the necklace exactly like it was. We just wanted it longer. And this is why I'm saying you don't want to get too far around the neckline, because you really don't want these to show. If you have long hair, you're fine, but if you have shorter hair, you might want to consider using the smallest clasp you can here, and maybe even making this just a little bit shorter. But 5.5 to 6 inches is about the max, depending on your neck size. With the clasp and the jump rings, it's actually out to 7 inches. I'm going to go try this on and see if it's too long. Well, I tell you, I pushed the envelope on this one, and it just barely, a hint of it is seen facing front. So it's only from a side view that someone might pick up on this. So I should have gone a little bit shorter on the beaded part before adding the lobster clasp and the ring. But you decide for yourself what length works best for you. So we have the beaded necklace extender. You could do the same idea with chain or tube beads or seed beads or whatever you would like. You can make several different styles of necklace extenders. Just make sure that the clasp works, whether it's a lobster clasp like what we used here, or maybe you're using a toggle clasp. Just make sure you put one of those on each end of your extender. So next I'm going to show you how we can upcycle the necklace in a more permanent way, although there is some flexibility with this to change it again. But I'm going to show you a super quick and easy way to extend a necklace if, here's the if, the necklace was made with those little clamshell components that I've shown you before. You know, the little clamshells? That's what this necklace has. So it's really easy to extend it. I'm going to show you how. So that is one way to extend it without changing anything. But I want to show you one more way to extend the necklace. And that requires a little bit of upcycle. And by the way, you can probably use this extender with other necklaces. And it also works great with other types of beads, you know, little seed beads. So let's set that aside. As long as you have the ability to change out the clasp at the end. As I showed you, this has a clamshell here. I have some chain, some basic link chain, and I'm going to take this little jump ring off of here. Well, maybe not. I might just use that jump ring. The thing is, I just need 2 of them. And I have a second one here. So instead of taking that off, let's take the lobster clasp off. I'm looking for the cut in the tiny little jump ring, and it is tiny. Let's set the lobster clasp aside. Let's take the jump ring. And let's, this chain happens to have a lobster clasp already attached to it, but I've got different pieces and parts here. Let's attach the chain to the necklace, to the clamshell component that was originally used on the necklace. I know you know where I'm going with this, but I wanted to show you some quick and easy fixes. You don't have to completely restring a necklace, again, depending on how it's made. So let's say we want this necklace to be, at 9 it would be 18 inches. Let's go to 20-inch necklace, 20 inches, maybe just a little extra with the clasp. I'm going to open up this particular jump ring so I can extend this to about a 20-inch necklace. I'm looking for the original lobster clasp, but let's close this up first. So I always like to use a jump ring, not this oval link chain. I want another 2 jump rings here. I have 2 jump rings, and this one I'm going to put on the end of the chain and add the lobster clasp back on. But we need some chain over here to extend this side. And we already have a jump ring on here, so let's attach this to the last link of the chain. And then let's figure out how long this needs to be. Line it up. And it looks like I need to take it apart right here. You can make it as long as you'd like. I mean, that's the nice part. Of course, it depends on how much chain you want showing at the front. I have a small jump ring, but I think I want a slightly larger one to hook the lobster clasp into. Look how easy that was. We've extended the necklace. We didn't have to change anything about it. Again, you know, I did have the ability to do that because it had a clamshell with a little loop here, so we were able to attach that. Look how easy that was. We have 2 ways to extend a necklace that we like, just like it is. Either we can make a little extension, either with small round beads or tube beads or seed beads, whatever you'd like. Just put a lobster clasp at one end and a jump ring at the other so that you can connect the original necklace. Or, if you have the ability to, just add some extension chain. Now we have a necklace that is 10.5, 21 inches long. It can be any length you want it to be. I hope you found these tips helpful. That's 4 things so far, but what else can we make? Well, Nancy did say that she had 4th of July in mind, and there are a few red, blue, and white beads in this haul. So we're going to take apart a few of those bracelets and maybe a necklace and make a quick and easy red, white, and blue bracelet for 4th of July. And I don't know when you're watching this video other than when I release it because it's coming out before 4th of July. But either way, have a happy 4th of July. Whether you're watching this before or long after, you know, I never know when you're going to watch my videos. But let's make that bracelet. I don't think I had my camera going. I thought I had it on. I just took a look. Somehow I turned the camera off when it should have been on. Oh well, we're going to make a quick and easy bracelet from these beads with 4th of July in mind. Might be a different shade of blue, but it's blue. We're going to use some memory wire, and memory wire cutters. As you know, it takes a special kind of cutter for memory wire, or you could damage your regular cutters. I'm going to get this untangled, and I want to have 1.5 approximately. I'll show you here. About 1.5. That's what we've got. When you see darkness at the end of the beads, that is from the metal. That is from years of the metal being up against the plastic bead. It's just what naturally happens. So I'm just giving everything a damp wipe here. You know how I like to work with memory wire. It's so easy. And sometimes when I don't know what the pattern's going to be, I just start threading the beads on here. I'm going to put the larger round bead first. And I think I want to add a little bit of bling. You know, we've got a lot of gold tones here that we might be working with, so I'm going to get a couple of rhinestone rondelles. We might be working with plastic beads, but that doesn't mean we can't bling them up a little bit, right? Let's add some red, one to each side, and then blue. That's what I have so far. And then let's add the little white beads again. Well, these are different. These are the ones that are a little oblong. And then let's start working in some of the gold spacer beads that were on one of the original bracelets at least. That's what we have. Let's go back to the red and the blue on each side. That's looking pretty. And that little bit of gold bling. I've got a couple more of these little flowers. I do have some white pearls there, but I haven't added those yet. Now, what do we want to do from here? I think I'm done with the white beads. I think I'm done with those. But let's go ahead and continue the pattern of the red and the blue. I might have to finish off the bracelet underneath the wrist with something else. Oh, the blue fell off. Get back on there. This is what we have. What did I do here? The red, we've got the red on, then the blue, what we have. But I have some other spacer beads that I could start working in. And then repeat the red and the blue. It's just these little faceted oblong beads. I don't know if you can even see. They're so tiny. Let's take a look. Look how pretty that looks. I want you to see it over the white bowl. Look how pretty. I'm just checking the pattern. Because you know, I have a history of missing things. It just happens. I have one more section of red and blue on here that I don't have on the other one. This is what I feel that I have to work with to finish off the bracelet. I'm going to take this loop making tool and I'm going to make a small loop, and you can make it to the outside or the inside, whichever you want. I'm just making this flush. I'm making a loop to the inside. Nice little loop, pushing the beads around. Last chance to check my pattern. I think I'm ready to finish this other end off. Even though I have more red beads, I just didn't feel that I had enough room to loop it at each end. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I'm going to cut this off just a little bit. I'm going to do this over my trash can. And I'm going to make a small loop to the inside. We have ourselves a cute little memory wire bracelet for the 4th of July, made with upcycled vintage beads from 2 different bracelets. All I added was the memory wire and a couple of rhinestone rondelles. And there you go. We've got our cute little bracelet. So give this idea a try with some of your red, white, and blue beads. Let's take a final look at all the pieces that we upcycled today. Very simple ideas, very simple tips, but I hope these tips inspire you to try the same thing too. I'm sure you probably have something in your bead stash that you could do this with. I know if I go through the rest of my bead stash, I could probably make a few more eyeglass holders. And of course, you can find those components on our website, Avante Avenue, link below the video. But I think you could take these ideas. I mean, what do you think? Can you take these ideas and try them out with what you have to work with? But let me show you what we made in this video, and you can vote if you like it.
The sky is blue, the sun is high. Sitting here on my own, I think of you, you're on my mind, you know. To me that's alright. Green grass on my neighbor's lawn. Maybe I should take a stroll.
I thought I'd make for you real quick here another charm. Really simple. It's just a head pin and a couple of beads. Lobster clasp for the interchangeable lariat. There you go. I just decided to add that in.
And to me, that's alright.
Did I tell you that I'm claiming one of the necklaces? I love this beautiful tassel necklace. Love it. And yes, I did have it on at the beginning of the video because, you know, I can't do all of this in the same day. Thank you again, Nancy, for this beautiful haul, because not only did I get to enjoy it, I got to share it with all of you and share some tips and ideas on upcycling and making little changes that can make a difference. Thanks for joining me in this upcycle. I hope you use some of these tips and ideas, and thanks for watching. And thank you, Nancy, and thanks to everyone. I wouldn't have this channel without you, and I'll see you in another video.
The sky is blue, the sun is high.